you get to hit that green in 2 and walk away with a 5.
He moves the bar up to 3 under on his scorecard, which is time.
Can you guys hear me? Can anybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. All right, so we'll give it maybe till about 10 after, give some people some time to get in.
Yes, I'm sending notifications for push notifications set to join the call.
Welcome, Ben. All right, we'll give it till probably about 10 after, folks, and then Muhammad can get started. What's up, David?
Don't see the screen.
Hello, Debbie made it. All right, Muhammad, I've got 10 after, so why don't you go ahead and get started? That's enough time, then we'll just let the other people that come along a little bit later, if they make it, come on a little bit later. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think so. Let me test some things. Set it. Okay, let's get started. This call has been recorded. We'll post the link on the Facebook group. Okay, first of all, I want to introduce the new dashboard improvements. I have added some useful links here on the dashboard and delete some stuff to make things much faster for you to navigate to everything we have. First of all, I added some links on the available apps here. First are the support desk, Portman Manager, Knowledge Base, for the testimonial on the Facebook page. Also for the services demo here, most of you guys are asking us for example, a demo for the review tool or a video marketing video simple or on RV machine testimonials. You can found all of them here. Just click on anything you need and you can find the demo that you can use for your clients or to showcase something to potential member of addition client here. Also, we have some important videos and links here that you can use. For example, for the video per platform, you can find here like quick video on YouTube how this review platform is working, how to onboard the client here on the giveawaymasters.com. Those two, I think Kenny does most of those two. Also, how to add it. On these 3 videos, this is what we send on the welcome email to the client and to the member. So, well, in shortcuts, you can find all of those links easily on your dashboard, so you don't have to wait for us asking for those links. Okay, let's get to the simplest, how to onboard a new client here. Some of you are still having problem in onboarding. Some of you are actually losing the data they are placing here because of the structure of this onboarding form platform. I think the most common issues you guys facing is when you want to scroll. I think that's very simple, but it's very annoying. When you want to scroll here, click on the scroller at the right, everything goes, and you lost all the data you placed. Well, yeah, that's an issue. I'm working on it to make it at least much simpler, much easier for you. But for the moment, you can use your mouse to scroll down. That will be very simple. Or click on the keyboard. There's 2 buttons that you can use. The first is the page down. You can click on page down on the keyboard, and you can scroll on the page without problem. Or you can click on the arrow down, the down arrow, and this will do the same action and scroll to the page to the bottom. Okay. At the moment, I'm still working to at least make it more secure, or at least like maybe a draft or save the data without losing them. I think that will come handy for most of you. For the moment, I think that's the best thing you can do. Hi, Debbie. Okay. Very simple. I think we already work on all of these sections on onboarding new client, on the business detail, plus all the details of your client. Usually you should get all of these data from the Google My Business account of your client, but as a new option, and share your requests on Facebook group, I believe we have to officially introduce that we are supporting other review platforms except Google. It means if you have the Yelp account that you want to get some reviews to it, it's possible. If you have a Facebook page that you want to add some reviews to it, it's possible as well. We can support any kind of review platform on the internet. It's all like basic functionality of our review platform, which is that we send the customer to the first portal, which is the feedback portal, where we ask him a couple of questions and ask him for his rating. And if his rating is as expected, like 4 or 5 stars, we redirect that customer directly without waiting to the exact page that we want him to leave his review to. That page, my friends, it means that URL that we redirect the customer to after he left his rating is our choice. We can send him anywhere. But for the better, I think the most famous review platform is actually Google. That's why we actually start with Google, because it's pretty famous, pretty needed, trusted from millions of people online. So, but that's not a limitation for you to use always Google. You can use other platforms such as Yelp or Yellow Page, I think maybe Amazon, anything. Doesn't matter. We don't actually care about the platform we can use. You can sell this review service, the two platform service for any kind of review platform, because the principle of this review platform is that we get the rating from the customer, then we send him to a specific URL. Currently, the default URL is actually the Google My Business account of that local business, or that business. It means your client. But in the future, and like starting from tomorrow, you can add it here on the location Google Map link. You can add it any link you want that that you want us to send the customer to. It means you can place like Facebook page, Yelp page, Amazon page. Maybe I don't know. There are like thousands of review sites online, but it's your choice. I will add some reference here. For example, local location Google Map link slash Facebook page slash Yelp page slash annual review platform, for example. That will help you. But as usually, nothing will be changed for the other sections here. It means you'll still have to place all the details of your company, all the details of the customer here, decision maker as well. Nothing will be changed, guys. Okay, it's just the URL that we'll be sending the customer after we get satisfied rating from, which is 5, 4, or 5 stars. So I think the only thing that will be changed here is the location Google Map links. So I think we'll just add some reference here, as I told you, slash Facebook page, slash Yelp account. So I think just I talked to Scott and some requests on Facebook from some of you members asking about the especially Facebook stuff. Yeah, we can actually support the Facebook. That will be actually much help for us. A lot of people actually use the Facebook. We are actually using Facebook, so that will make it maybe partially much easier for you to do. But as you all know, of course, the customer actually has to have a good Facebook account to leave the Facebook review for that page. So I think that's a very basic idea. It's already is on the Google, as you all know. You can't leave a Google review if you don't have a Gmail account. So I think before you start thinking of using this platform for other review platforms, I think we have to just make this small idea solid and clear for you between you and your clients. Any online website need an account so that the customer can leave his feedback. That's very simple. It's very simple rule. You need an account to place a review, for example, in Amazon, in Yelp, in Facebook, in Google as well, any other review platform. It's very simple math. You have to have an account to there. So always make sure that you let your customer know, your client know that his customers must have an account on that website, so that we can help him to get reviews for. But as you all know, and as I told you, Google is quite famous. Google has like millions, hundreds of millions of users. So it will be very, very simple that we will get a customer who has an account on Google to left his feedback. But so that's why I'm telling you, when you start, or when you think, before you think changing using this platform for Google to other platform, just do some calculation and always choose like very, very famous review platforms such as Facebook or Yelp or Yellow Page. Okay, then, well, I think let me just go quick. That will be very, very simple how to get the Facebook page here. As you all know, to get the map link, just copy this link here, which will send you to a link to the local location of that business in Google Maps. That's the link, for example, for Google. This is the link if you want to review this for Google. You should use that link to get the Google Map link. If you want to use the platform for a Facebook page, I think that will be, sorry, the screen just freeze it. Okay, I was saying, if you want their platform to be used for Facebook, that will be also very simple. Just go to the Facebook page of that business. I'm not sure if this is, let me check. Okay, I think I can see some Facebook link for this SB Informatic for this business. Not sure for, yeah, I think something like that, exactly. That's a Facebook page, okay? So from now on, if you want the review for Facebook, it will be very simple. Just have to copy this Facebook page here, this URL, make sure that you are seeing the page of your business. Okay, make sure that you can see the Facebook page of that business before you get us the URL. Okay, this is very important. It's very, very important. So as soon as you get this link here, just copy it and paste it on the, just paste it where you're actually pasting the Google Map link. It's the same as I told you. I will add some reference there, so it will not just be about Google Map link. Will be more options to choose from, but generally this field here, guys, will be the field that the online account of the business that you want to get reviews to. Okay, whether it is Facebook, Amazon, Yelp, Yellow Page, or any other directory site account for your business. Okay, as I told you, I will change this so you don't get confused. So this will be, for example, maybe a business account, business listing account, or a review account to get the reviews for you. It can be Facebook, but Facebook, Amazon, Yellow Page, or Google. So that will make it much simpler to get. Okay, so let me walk through this again. So as I told you, this will be very simple how to get the URL of Facebook. Let me check something else. Maybe let's check Yelp. I hope this is good. Okay, I think Yelp.com. This is very. This will be a great option, by the way. Yelp is quite famous, and it's an international website, so that will be a great option for you to use. Well, I think that will be very simple. For example, this argument project here. I'm not sure if this is a business. Well, anyway, if this is business and you want to get reviews to your client account here on Yelp, it will be very simple. As on Facebook, you just have to go and find the business here on the Yelp and get us this link. Okay, it's very simple. Of course, if you are using Yelp, you need to get the business detail from Yelp to place it here on the onboarding form. Okay, so that will make it for us as simple to get the detail here much faster. Okay, but now that I told you, nothing changed. This onboarding form will be the same. Just here on the map link, it will just be changed depending on the review platform that you want to receive reviews to. So as I told you, if you want to choose Yelp to get reviews to, you can just go here, copy that, paste it like this. All the details in place for the business. This business will get reviews on Yelp and not on Google. Okay, so as I told you, I really don't want you to get confused about this. Nothing will be changed. It's just this link. Instead of placing the Google Maps link, you have to place the link for the platform that you want to receive reviews to. Whether it is Facebook, you place the Facebook page here, URL. It is Yelp, place the Yelp URL of that business on Yelp. That's very simple. If it is I don't know, Amazon or any other website, it's very simple. You just have to go to that website, that directory website, search for that business. If that business has an account there, just click on that, open that business there, copy the URL of that business profile on that website, and just place it here. It's much very simple. Okay, that's simple math. Also, yeah, there's some improvements as well. We have here on the business type. I added some other business, some other type that will come handy for you. Now you can just select general business, charity, chamber of commerce, or non-profit. That's 4 types of business that you can choose. This will help you guys to organize, and for us to organize the business listing in our database, which is here at the top. You can choose this business type as per your choice. For example, a chamber of commerce. You see the list of the chamber of commerce that you onboarded. The same goes for us. We have with the admin account, we can see the whole added client. So this will be very helpful for us too. Also, I added a new option, I think, on the status. Yeah, status. Let me go here. The status, I added a new status will be on hold. Sometimes you get problem with boarding the client, or sometimes if the member exceeded his 10 accounts and start on the next pack, which is like 11 or 12 or 13 account, we place those accounts on hold until he placed an order for the new pack, for the next pack of 10 accounts. Then we process his account. So this is for you. If some of you just get into this case and got his account, got his client who just onboarded into the on hold status, so that you can know. You must know that you actually exceeded your accounts. So either you can delete some accounts if you are, I don't know, if you're sure that your client is not using it anymore, so that you can free up some accounts that you can use in the future. If you are using the whole 10 accounts, that will be totally fine. Just go here to the website, or just go to the website, click on that, click on marketplace, go to review platform pack, and order for a review. It's a pack of a review platform. It's here. I think. Yeah, that's it. The review platform timestamp pack. Okay, that's it. Just place it. If you are actually exceeded your 10 accounts. Okay, this is very simple, as I told you. Yes, that's also new things here. Now we will provide you with the request tool, the feedback portal tool, and the summary report tool. That's 3 very useful links. We already are using those links on the notes section, right? Currently, in the past week, we were pasting those links on the notes section. That was not that quite useful. Why? Because I was talking with Gary last week, and he got my attention something. He said that when he wants to export the list of his clients, those 3 links are not exported within the CSV file that he exported from the website. And that's very obvious, because we were actually printing those details on the notes section and not as fields on the profile of the business. So what I did, I just did small modification. Of course, as you all know, everything under this section, you don't have to touch it at all when you import your client. This will be filled by our fulfillment by Kais, by the way. We will place all the links here. After a client will be changed from pending to active, those links will be filled, and you will be able to access them and export them within the CSV of your client list. How to do that? Okay, maybe some of you are asking about this. We have some questions. Right. Okay. You see, guys, for example, on this account here, I have just 1 listing, right? If you guys have a lot of listing, for example, 10 or even 20 as per your needs, you can export them. Okay, you can export them in the CSV file, and this will help you in your business, or it will make it much easier for you. So you just have to click on this export view icon here. You see this arrow? Click on this arrow. Very, very simple process. Okay. If you want to export all the fields, click on all the fields. If you don't want, you can just select the specific field that you want to export of each business. So for Gary's request, now you can find the request tool link, feedback link, summary link, status if you want, anything you can see here. Anything you can see here, you can add them and export them into the CSV file. Then you select what you want, CSV file or an Excel file. So for example, I select Excel file, I go here and I click export. Okay. We're still on the onboarding form. This is all about the onboarding form, how to onboard client, how to stay progress with the client, follow up, how to export the data of your client. That's very simple. Okay, let's just go here. Come on, go. Okay, just wait a little. Should not be that big file. So you will load that file. Well, simply just have to open it. Okay. This will not take long. Meanwhile, we could open it. Let me continue to add something here. Well, I think I'm very happy to announce for you, Scott and David, that we will be supporting the Spanish platform language like tomorrow. Translation script is ready and it's been sent to guys, and we will be able to start onboarding client in the Spanish language. Of course, the script translated we have is generally, so of course we cannot like provide a couple of scripts translation for a couple of business lines. So you know, as you know, the default script that we are using on the English version, we just translate it professionally and use it Spanish. But for all the customizations for the non-English language, we need you guys to translate everything you want. Because, for example, the default questionnaire that we are placing on the feedback portal is actually customizable. It means you can change those questions, you can change those answers. But when you want to change it in French or in Spanish, we do not handle the translation. It means if your client requests some specific questions and answers on that questionnaire, your client must provide those questions in his native language, okay? This will be very simple. I think that's very obvious. If you want to ask some specific questions, I think it will be just sent in his language, so we don't have to translate it, but just want to let this know for you guys that for the foreign languages, on the customization, we cannot provide the translation of those custom requests and custom changes. Okay, I think we're here. Let's see. Okay, as you can see, this is like an example of this Excel file that I just exported from the onboarding form here. So as you see, the first line will be like this: the field's name, and starting from the second line, this will be the list of your clients. If you have 10 or 20 or 100, it's up to you. But all the details here that you onboard in your client, they will be placed here. Well, unfortunately, in this, just in my example, the request and feedback and summary links are not actually present. But when your client has, of course, it will have links that will be printed here, so that will make it easier for you. This is not an obligation, just for some members. Some members who want to like work an advanced method or use a professional things like the CSV and all of that. This will be an option for you if you want to export your list of onboarded clients. You can do so. Okay, it's up to you. Okay, I think we already worked through this tutorial option. Schedule the call, custom email subject, custom logo URL, and there's a new option that I'm working on here on the review video campaign. Usually we do not ask for you for specific details of how the campaign will be published, but from the next week we'll be adding a new I think new product. That product will be for free. Okay, it will be just for free, but you can order it freely, and it will give you the same as the bonus service here. Okay, so I think from next week this button here will no longer exist. So if you want to order a bonus video service for your client, You just have to go to the marketplace. Here you can play marketplace and go. Well, it doesn't exist right now, but it will. Just go to a video marketing tutorial. Click on that. Place an order for that. You will be redirected to an online form that you will have to fill out your detail for that. With the detail for your video, you can pay video marketing service. Well, I think just in quick brief, that online form will, for example, ask for the titles, for the descriptions, for some basic information about your business, maybe the cities that you want to target on the keywords, and a logo, maybe something like that. So that would be quite handy for most of the members that want to customize their thing. Okay, so this will help you a lot. Okay, of course I will post everything on Facebook as soon as it's ready. We got to make it much easier. Okay.
Okay, Mohammed.
That's all.
Mohammed, I wanted to ask Blanca and David, how excited are you guys about having Spanish available tomorrow?
Very.
And I'd also like to welcome Kenny and anyone that is here. The purpose of the training on Thursday basically is to be able to find out anything, good, Greg, anything that you guys need that you're having difficulty with from the techie side. And so we're here to be able to answer any of the questions that you guys bring up to us. And if you don't, then we'll probably invite Kenny to jump in and say hello and see if there's anything that he wants to add while he's here. But we're dependent on basically you guys telling us, or you guys being able to find the website. Are you all comfortable with what the onboarding experience now is all like for all of you? And Kenny, you got a question. Is Monday's webinar replay on this website? And Mohammed, do you know the answer to that?
Well, no, I think it's not. Kenny is using ClickFunnels, his page to place his webinars, but I think we can start placing those webinars at thegiveonmaster.com. That will be much easier. I think Kenny has all the links for YouTube, right? So it will be pretty easy to place them all here. Sure.
Okay, great. And David, unmute yourself and ask away. And David, I also would like you, when you start asking your question, I would like you to kind of give everybody sort of an idea right now of what your mindset is about our opportunity, because man, I'm telling you, if everybody was doing on a day-to-day basis what David was doing, I would have to go to an insane asylum. He has been blowing my phone up, and I've been having a great time getting to know him. But David, ask your question, unmute yourself, and ask your question, and tell everybody briefly, what your mindset is and what it is that you see as this opportunity has grown in your mind since you came aboard with us.
Okay, well, I've been around for about 4 weeks with this company, I guess about 4 weeks, and you told me about the Chamber of Commerce idea, and I jumped on it because I focus on masses instead of doing one-on-one. I like to go for the big groups. So I've been hitting some chambers in the Atlanta area. One of the locations has like 40,000 members. I'll repeat that again, 40,000 members. So I went to this location about 2 weeks ago, and the guy never called me back. I sent emails, phone calls, but I'm a belly-to-belly person, so I'm not going to depend on no emails. I'm just going to keep walking up there and showing my face. I don't care if they get mad. I could care less. Just give me a no or a yes. I'd rather get a quick no than a slow yes. So I went up there yesterday. He wasn't there, which was a good thing, but I did run into somebody else. So I'm thinking maybe you might need 2 contacts. I don't know. I ran into somebody else he gave me his business card. I followed up, sent him an email, and he forwarded it to somebody else, another vice president. in the company, and she responded today, and she said she loved what she saw and she wants to know more information. So either she's going to email me back or I'm going to show up there tomorrow or Monday or something. But my main question was in regards to the commercials that we're producing. The 48 that you do on a monthly basis, how are they going to be able to find, well, put it like this. If somebody searches for this particular company, how can we avoid having all those videos on that front page? Do you understand what I'm saying? Or is it going to be targeted in different local areas?
It targeted in different local areas, David. They, for instance, let's say that there was a chiropractor and they had 15 neighborhoods that were surrounding their clinic. Then we will target each one of the neighborhoods, and since the titles are different, then each one will show up on a different page one on Google.
Okay.
But more importantly, Google sees all of them. And when we are publishing consistent, relevant content for Google, they're giving ranking juice to that particular company. And I'm going to say this, and I guarantee you somebody's going to misunderstand me, and they're not going to like it, and they're going to be upset, but there's really not a lot I can do about that. I'm not really interested if a human being ever sees one of those videos. Google is seeing the videos. I'm doing that as a relevant content play, if you will, to help Google rank this company in the 3-pack. 48 pieces of content on that are all unique, published every month with that company's local citation in the description of the video is going to help that company move to the 3-pack. Now, isn't it wonderful that the video's got some views? Yeah, I guess that would be okay. The only organization I'm interested in getting views of that content is Google. And if everyone really truly understands that, then we won't get a whole lot of questions, I don't think, about, well, where's this one showing up and where's that showing up? It's showing up where Google can see that it's relevant content. And they will show up on page one. If they do like most videos do, they'll stay there for 4 or 5 days and then they'll disappear. And that's why we are placing 48 pieces of video content spread out over a month's time, and we're dripping them out, beginning a cycle of 16 every 8 days or 9 days. Okay?
So basically, with other companies, they'll put out maybe 1 video or 2, but we can put out 48. That basically we call ours a blitz.
Exactly. And it's a blitz every month at a lower cost than they are charging for 1 or 2.
Yeah, I got 2 people I talked to today that are real close. So
good.
Yeah.
Exactly. But Dave, as God just mentioned that, I really want you to understand that the very basic principle that we rank those videos and post them there is to target Google's attention and not to get not to get views to those videos. So the first goal of getting those content there is to make Google feels that that particular business is posting a lot of content, a lot of relevant content online for that local cities or local neighborhood. So those videos there, even if no one actually saw them, Google are actually seeing those videos thousands of times each day, and that's very, very strong, because this will optimize the local ranking of that business on Google Maps, which is essentially the Google 3-pack. So that's the main goal of that video. I really want you to understand that. So when you talk with your clients or to potential clients that are interested in getting the video marketing, I really want you to get this point right, because some clients will, at the first time they saw the video, they will tell you that this is very classic or this is not professional. So you just have to blow their mind and tell them that this doesn't matter. No one will watch those videos. Those videos contain everything that is related to the local location of that business, which means everything we place there, because you know that 48 videos that we place, guys, each one has a specific title, specific description, specific description and title and keywords, so that and all of those three elements are actually targeting the local city and the local neighborhood of that business. It means it's like we are providing a juice of ranking locally that business on Google. So that's the main point of the marketing. It's not, to be honest, it's nothing about videos. Just honestly, it's just content, to be honest.
It's just content. Yeah.
Yes, but the videos are quite popular, so we actually choose the videos.
And David,
Yes.
what were the prices that you found the other day for content?
I think 4 posts were like $400 or two.
$429,
Mhm.
and then they went up to 8 for like 700 or 800, and then they went to 12,
Yeah, they had 1100 and something.
1117. They gave you a break. So
Right.
12 pieces of content out there in the marketplace going for $1,117, and we're giving you guys 48 wholesale for $97. So
Yeah.
I don't know. If I was you guys, I'd go out there and say, I'll give you $1,117 instead of 12. How would you like 48? I'll give you 48 for the same price. And then you guys make over $1,000 a month off of doing that.
We could do more than that if we need to.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. Any other questions from anybody? Thank you, Blanca. It's called disrupting the pricing structure.
Blugga, 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 blugga.
Yes. 3 are original, and then the others are spun. But to Google, they're all unique. Okay, so we have a break now. Kenny, would you like to jump in? Yes, that's correct.
Sure, I'm here. You guys
All
hear me?
right, so Kenny, one thing I'd like you to do for me is I would like you to describe what's happened in your mind since Monday morning when we talked about the chamber strategy, because you are more excited this week than I've seen you since the first time we talked about this.
Yeah, well, first of all, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, when we started Giveaway Masters, it was, when Scott bothered me enough to get my attention about Giveaway Masters, it was a really good idea. And like I tell, in the original webinar, it stopped me dead in my tracks when he told me that we have a free trial to a tool that we can give away and we can teach people how to do it. And I'm thinking like I always think, okay, fine, pizza places, plumbers. And that's why a lot of the times you go into the training, you're going to see a lot of stuff about your power base and about, contacting cold prospects. And I think that works great. And there's no problem with that. And that's how it was. And that was a great idea. Then we had the Chamber of Commerce method come up, and that, all credit goes to Scott on that one too, because I had no idea what that was. I never stepped foot in a Chamber of Commerce in my life. And that was basically, we go there and we give the tool for free to them, and then we have the opportunity to go and walk around to all their members, and we can give the tool to the members as a trial and kind of pitch them when we go and get the review for the chamber. That was another really good idea. When we combine those, when Scott combined those 3 things and he put in non-dues revenue, that made this thing the best opportunity that I've ever seen in my life. And you have to remember, this is a terrible thing I'm about to say, but you have to remember that I, at one point, was selling crappy stock to really rich people at some of the best sales organizations to ever exist in the world. And I made a ton of money doing that. And that was an amazing opportunity. This blows that away. I was in the mortgage business in 2004. That was a freaking opportunity and a half. And I left in 2005, 2006, which was, a perfect timing. That was a great opportunity too. This beats that. And I'll tell you right now, if we had all 3 of these things put together when I was 25, 26 years old, 12, 13 years ago, I wouldn't even be working anymore, I don't think. And Scott wouldn't be either. And a lot of the members that joined at that time wouldn't be either. So this is a long-term thing for us. We're going to be here for a long time. We're willing to support you guys with anything that you do. This is the best opportunity that I've ever seen. And I'm in the middle of it. That's why I kind of haven't been around lately. I had no internet for a couple of days, and all day today I was creating or finishing up the official Chamber of Commerce method training for the Giveaway Masters group, and it's great. And the first video I did last, the introduction I always do last because I want to try to, make it seem like it makes sense. But I must have said this is the great opportunity I've ever seen in my life about 50 times in that introduction video, and it's just really amazing. And I'm really hoping that everyone in this group, whether you believe in the Chamber of Commerce thing too, just go out there and try it one time. Go and talk to 3. You don't have to talk to 10 people. Go out and talk to 3 or 4 chambers of commerce and mention non-dues revenue to them. And I'm telling you right now, if it's like any of the other ones that I've been hearing about, it's, their mind and their eyes and everything just light up because they have nothing like this. You could, they do the golf outing. Okay, that's great. It costs them $3,000 to put on, and maybe they'll make 3 back, right? They'll make 6 in return. They'll make a $3,000 return on their investment. They got to put $3,000 up front to put that on, right? Me and Scott are going to be going to a meeting in October. You know how much money it costs to put that meeting on? They're going to get some money back. They're going to make a return on their investment. The chamber's going to make some money from that meeting, but they have to put a lot of money up front. With this tool, they put nothing up front, and they make money on a recurring monthly basis, and they do nothing. We do everything. So they make $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a year with all their fundraising. We can bring them in $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month, and it doesn't cost them a dime to do. This is the most exciting, game-changing opportunity that I've ever seen, and all you guys have already paid for it, so I'm not trying to sell you on anything. It's just I'm more excited about this than I have been with anything when it comes to making money with the internet or at home or online or any of that stuff. And I've been involved in a lot of programs as a creator, as a promoter, as a JV partner, as a webinar presenter. I've been involved in more things than you guys even have heard of before. And this is the best opportunity that I've ever seen. So there you go.
Right.
Yeah, we can't sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, now we have Spanish too. So if I drank, I would open up a Corona, but I don't. But that's awesome. French, Spanish, English, we got to keep going with that because I'm telling you right now, this thing's going to blow up like crazy, and we want it in every language available because it's amazing. Every chamber can use it. Every business can use it. Makes you guys a ton of money. This is what I was saying in the introduction video. Makes you guys a ton of money, makes the chamber a ton of money, and imagine the impact it has on all the the small local businesses in that community. The owners, the employees, the owner's family, the employee's family, they get to keep their job. That place is going to stay in business. That local pizza place is not going to go under. That local tire shop is not going to go under. You're going to prevent people from losing their job. You're going to have such a positive impact on the local community. It's amazing. And everybody makes money with it, which is even better. So it's a win-win-win situation for everyone involved. And I'm telling you right now, just go out there and start talking to them. 1, 2, or 3 of them. You don't have to talk to 10. Just talk to 1, 2, or 3 of them. And I'm telling you right now, they're going to light up as soon as you start talking to them. And we're going to give you all the sales stuff too. That's part of the new training. That's going to be coming out. I'm going to be working all night doing it, but it's going to come out sometime tonight. And I make probably a live stream on Facebook announcing.
And I'd like to have Blanca chime in real quick because she's a person that's basically kind of brand new and just walked in, didn't try to email. I'm not a big fan of that stuff. Sorry, guys. She didn't try to call to stay away from talking to people in person, but she went and talked to the Hispanic Chamber in Los Angeles. And Blanca, do you mind giving everyone a brief synopsis of your experience with how they received what you were talking about when you went in to talk to them?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, great. It was awesome. They were shocked that we can actually give something away. And they said this would work great for our members. So they were excited. That was great. That felt awesome.
And they didn't reject you, and they didn't tell you that you had 4 eyes and tell you to go away and never come back again, right? And how many members, Jeff, wanted to know do they have?
I think they said 1,600 for my Latino members. That's a start.
Okay, so guys, I just want to jump in here real quick, just so you understand, all right? And these are numbers based off what Blanca said. So take that, I don't know if your chamber may not have 1,600 members. Maybe it has 500. Maybe it has 2,500. I don't know. If she just if they just get 100 out of 1,600 to use the tool, you just replaced all of their fundraising for the entire year and increased it. Because there is no way they're making $3,000 a month on their fundraising.
Exactly.
You replaced everything, and you gave them more money than they were making, and they don't have to do anything for it. And by the way, Blanca and David make money, the same amount of money. So everyone's making money, and everybody's happy.
I wanted to also say that when Jim Crabb and I know Jim's in here with us too. When Jim Crabb and I were in Williamson, when we were getting ready to leave, they were like, well, with our affinity programs, we've got to at least make $5,000 a year. I wanted to hug the guy.
You could do that every month, easily.
Amazing.
Thank you, Kenny, for that email.
Oh, the more info email. That one?
For the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah. I don't know. Like Scott asked me to do that. I don't know if that's too professional or if it's too much information or what. You can feel free to
It
add.
worked. It worked.
Oh, okay. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Worked.
Yeah, if they liked it, that's all that matters.
Yeah, he sent it off today and he got his response back.
Oh, cool. Perfect. That's great.
1 for 1, Kenny. Good job.
There you go. Michael is asking, what is that email? It's an email that I wrote up last night that basically if somebody says we need more information or whatever, then you could send them that email. And it's kind of broken down into 2 parts. The first part is about the tool and how it works. And the second part is about the non-dues revenue program. And it is not, Michael, by the way, the type of email that you would get as if I was writing a email for someone who works with me as a JV part. It's not like an internet marketing type, look at this new system I found. It's not like that at all. It's very professional. It's very, I actually had to have, I'm not embarrassed to say this. I had my mom look at it because she has a PhD. So I had to make sure like it was all professional and it looked right and everything else and the words were sounding, the right way. So yeah, it's a good email. If a Chamber of Commerce president asks you for for more information, or anybody at the chamber asks you for more information, it's something that you could send them. The only thing you got to add to it is obviously your name, the chamber name, stuff like that. And also I put a spot in there for the demo video. So you could put that in there as well. You can download that in the members area and upload it to your YouTube channel, or you can use it on our YouTube channel, however you want to set it up. It's free for you to download in there if you want to and put it on your own. So it's up to you, but I guess it works because we're 1 for 1. So.
But you want to show up first, though. You want to show up first. You don't want to just.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's not a cold
first.
email. It's not something you email cold out to chambers. This is something that you go there and they say, send us something. We'll look it over, whatever. That's when you send it out.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff Stephens, I can send it to you. And if you unmute yourself, Debbie, and ask Kenny your question. We'll take any question. Nobody has to say anything in private. That's another one of the things that we kind of differentiate ourselves about. And, we're famous for the 5.5-hour webinar, so we'll stay on as long as you guys have questions. So go ahead and unmute yourself, Debbie, and ask Kenny and see how he likes your question.
Well, I kind of missed what he was just saying about the email. I think it might have been what I was just asking. Kenny, I was just wondering, when we called the chamber and, how originally we were supposed to be asking or telling them that we were wanting to talk to someone about becoming a member. Now that Scott's come up with the non-dues revenue thing, now can we just tell them that we want to talk to them about the non-dues revenue instead of wanting to talk to them about becoming a member? I mean, get in there a lot quicker.
Well, to be honest with you, Debbie, it's a good question, and I don't have an answer for you. The reason why I don't have an answer for you is because the only right answer to that question is to do 10 calls. I mean, in this particular instance, I would normally say do 1,000 calls, but do 10 calls to a chamber asking about becoming a member and going to the meeting, and then do 10 calls with the other, the other way, talking about non-dues revenue, and then just see which one works out better in the long run. I honestly believe, without doing it though, and that's why I can't give you an answer, because I haven't tested out a call about non-dues revenue, so I don't know the answer to it. But without doing it, I would have to guess that calling and saying I might be interested in becoming a member is going to get you in at a higher percentage rate than calling about. And the only reason why I say that is because think about it this way. If you own an SEO, that's their product. That's their sale, right? If you own an SEO company and somebody calls you up and they say, yeah, I'm interested in possibly learning more about your SEO deal and I want to come in and talk about it a little bit, you're going to say yes to every one of those calls. Every one of those meetings are going to be set. So I truly believe that every call you make with a chamber saying I'm possibly interested in becoming a member, I want to come in and talk about it a little bit more, every one of those calls is going to turn into an appointment. Literally every single one of them. And with the non-dues revenue angle, I think that there might be some, although a small percentage, might be some that say, you know what, we're good there. We don't want it because because they're going to know that you're going to talk to them about selling them something, and there's no problem with that. But again, if it seems like my intent is possibly buying their product, I'm going to get in every time. If it seems like my intent is possibly to sell them something, even if it's the greatest thing ever and they're going to love it, they're still going to say no at some point. So,
I'd like to chime in a second with that too. Remember that some of their affinity program non-dues revenue experience in the past has not been that good. I mean, they got a guy selling that's giving $5 off his credit card processor. I mean,
okay, I can understand that. I understand that. I don't want them to expect me to join when I get there, but I've seen what some of their prices are to join, and I don't want them to expect me to join when I get there.
Well, but see, again, if we go in talking about them, and I'm not the tallest, and I'm not the best looking, and I don't have hardly any hair, but I feel very confident that I can go up and talk to anybody. And because I'm going to go up and I'm going to talk to them about them. And I'm going to be the most interested person in them that they've met today. And by the time I'm finished questioning them about them, they're going to think I'm the most fascinating, interesting person on the planet. And then at some point, they're going to say the magic words, which is all I'm there for, which is they're going to say, well, Scott, what do you do? And then I yank that hook as hard as I possibly can, and I got him.
And Debbie, just one other thing real quick. I get that that you don't want to just go there and sign up, and you don't want them to think that you're going there to sign up. I get that. And that's one of the reasons why the wording is the way it is. And I'm not saying the exact script. The exact script will be in the members area tonight after I upload all the videos. But that's why I say something along the lines of I'm possibly interested in maybe joining the chamber. But here's the other thing when you say that you don't want them to think that you're there to join. Think about this. If you use that script and then you use Scott's words, which are once they say, what do you do? Then you start talking about non-dues revenue.
Yes.
If they came back to you and they said, well, we would be interested in that if you were a member of our chamber. Then your next words are, so basically what you're telling me is if I join your chamber, you'll do this with me.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Sign the check for $200 and join the chamber and sign their contract at the same time.
Yeah, I think I'd do that. I would do that.
Right. So that's really I hate to use this terminology because it sounds so bad, but that's really the setup. That's really how you're trying to set them up. And again, try it the other way and compare and contrast the numbers, because I don't want to point you in the wrong direction and tell you the other way will work. It won't work. I don't know because I never did it. But there's no harm in call chambers that are not near you. Try that. Call it in some random part of the country. Every chamber in the country needs what we have. I go through the map and show everybody this 100 times. So randomly scroll across the map and find some chambers in Kansas or something and just call them with that pitch of the non-dues revenue angle. See how they react to it. Call 2 or 3 of them and see how they react to it. And then you'll kind of know, you'll get a feel for how they're going to react. And then use whatever you're going to use. Remember, you only need one.
Okay. All right.
Right. And again,
Alright,
the only data that you really should ever deal in is real data. So try it out and see how it goes.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. That was a good question, by the way.
Blanca, basically it's I'm asking them about them. Tell me about you. How long have you been at this chamber? How many, what do you like the most about it? Tell me more whenever they say anything. I mean, it's just ad nauseum. I don't really mean to kind of come across this way, but I'm hardly even listening to what they're saying. I'm just watching their body language, and when I can tell they're taking a break from their answer, I'll ask another little question to keep them going. And then, how long have you lived here? Have you got any kids? What's the greatest thing about working at this chamber? It's just anything to keep them talking about them. What is the biggest benefit if I do join this chamber? Well, are there any downsides to me being a member? Do you guys feel like you need some area that you really are focusing on now that you guys are getting better at? Just anything at all where I can just keep asking them about them and see. One of the things that you'll learn, and people are so scared to go talk to other people, but if you just keep asking them about them and instead of being afraid of what they think about me, I'm focusing my mind on what's the next good question I can come up with. Am I listening attentively enough? Because people can tell if your eyes are rolling. And when you begin to really kind of get into the people business and you're in these conversations, you can tell if someone is listening to what you're saying as well. And if they're beginning to roll their eyes back, then the fallback position is talk less and listen more. Ask more questions and re-engage them and get them talking about them if you feel like you're kind of losing them in the conversation. But it just takes practice. But it's fun. It's a game. And I told Marcus this, and I'll offer this to any one of you as long as you commit to me to be honest about it. Any of you that can go in and talk to any of these chamber people and you can get them to talk about them and their chamber for 20 minutes and you report back to me that happened, I'll give you $100 because I don't believe it's ever going to happen. You're going to get 5-10 minutes in asking them about them. They're going to be so overjoyed. They're eventually going to go, well, what do you do? Well, I help chambers of commerce with their non-dues revenue problem. And they have fun. So I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, but I posted in the Facebook group today, I went to go talk to another humongous organization today, national organization that I'm working on for you guys and me. All right. And I took a blanket and a pillow. And I walked in and the receptionist looked at me like I was a weirdo. And then I just walked right into the conference room and she sat me down. I placed my blankie and my pillow on the table and Craig walks in and first thing he did, he looked over at the pillow and the blanket and I stuck my hand out and I said, Craig, my name is Scott Powell and nice to meet you. I'm a non-dues revenue generator. And I said, I know that you noticed my pillow and my blanket because until you say yes, we're going to be here for a while. And he laughed. And see, if they're laughing, they're buying. And we had a great conversation because they want non-dues revenue. And this is an organization that is in charge of businesses, excuse me, in 33 counties. Not one little small chamber in a small little area. These people are regional in 33 counties. And their reviews suck. And they want non-dues revenue. So that's what I'm working for while you guys are going out and getting your feet wet with your first chamber experience. I'm going to get the next thing ready for you if I can get this done so you guys can start working on this other organization once you get your chambers rolling.
Hey guys, another great question to ask too when you're getting them to talk about themselves is what's your favorite event of the year? like the events that you do. I'm right now, I'm looking at the Central Connecticut Chamber of Commerce, which by the way is massive and it has 0 reviews if anyone's in Connecticut. But they have golf outings like every single month. They have a beer night. They have a restaurant night. They have art shows. They have all this stuff is meant to raise money for the chamber. I'm going to ask them, what's your favorite event of the year? And then they're going to say, oh, the golf outings. Okay, well, what about the tavern day? Or what about the art show? Or what about, I'm going to get them to, and then I'm going to say to them, listen, let me ask you a question. Do you like that so much that you do it even if you didn't have to? Because I'm not going to go this far with it, but I would ask that question to plant the seed of, once we start doing business together, you're never going to have to do another morning jolt, which is on the 18th of September, again in your life. Because you can if you want to. If you really like the golf outing, do it. Do it for free. Whatever. Who cares? Just go play golf with your friends. That's fine. But you're not going to have to do it. And sometimes when you have to do something, even if you love it, it becomes a pain. And I can go into examples about that. But the bottom line is, well, even if you love something really a lot, if it becomes something that you have to do no matter what, it doesn't become as enjoyable anymore. And once you start using our tool, you're not going to have to do the Tax Act for Manufacturers breakfast on September 11th if you don't want to. You can listen to the news about the bells going off and all that stuff like everybody does every morning instead, which is equally as depressing as the morning business for Tax Act or whatever. But you don't have to do any of that stupid stuff anymore if you don't want to. And again, I'm not going to say all that, but I'm going to plant that seed very early on. So what's a good event? What's your favorite event? Is get them to talk about the events and the fundraising stuff that they do.
And one thing that as well, think about it. If we get 1,000 of their members, and I believe that we'll have chambers that have that many members that buy our tool, that's $30,000 a month. And somebody that's good at math can tell me how much that is times 12. I guarantee you that they don't have a non-dues revenue program that's bringing in that much money on a consistent basis where they're not having to spend money to be able to make the money. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Scott just hit on a very important point that not many people are really picking up on and not really listening to. They don't have to spend much money, right? The golf outing, the NESMA 2008 golf outing on September 10th for the Central Connecticut Chambers of Commerce, that probably makes them a good amount of money, right? Maybe it makes them $2,000 or $3,000, but it probably costs them $3 or $4 to put on. That's a massive risk. That is a massive risk. Dude, if you're one golf outing away from these doors shutting down, bad golf outing away. You spend $3 or $4 on a golf outing, nobody shows up, this place is shuttered. It's over. You got squatters in here next month. With our tool, you don't have to spend any money at all. There's no risk whatsoever. And it's true, like really, if I go on a webinar and I do a 30-day refund guarantee, whatever, yeah, sure, okay, we're taking away the risk, quote unquote, right? That's what the rich jerk taught you in 2003. But the bottom line is there's really no risk here. Zero. You have a free tool for life and you add it as part of your non-dues revenue program that you already have going. That's it. There is zero risk to the Chamber of Commerce ever. They don't have to spend any money at all.
And if we price it at a retail rate of $97 a month, and we are offering them, and we're putting them in a position to offer it to their members at a whopping 39% discount. Think about the deal that we're handing the chamber. We're already giving it to them for free. We're going to help them get some reviews so they can tell their members, look what happened. This thing really does work. We think you need to do this. And we've worked out a deal with these people that we're working with, and we're getting you a 39% off retail deal if you buy it through the chamber. That's a strong deal.
And guys, there is nobody that is offering a review tool like ours for $60 a month. Nobody. There's one company out there, I forget the name of it, to be honest with you. I looked them up today. That is at $147 a month for something that just does Google reviews for people. Again, we could do any review platform in the world, doesn't matter, and we're in 3 different languages. That's the closest competitor as far as price goes that I've seen. There was someone that posted a Facebook ad for YouReview, which is another company that's out there doing, a similar tool. And I actually signed up for their free trial today, and I had a 15-minute phone call with their salesperson. they're $249 a month for their review tool, and it's not the same as ours, like the same exact thing, but it's similar. It's like the same type of deal. And then, granted, with You Review, the customer gets a dashboard, but we have a dashboard too. It's called Google your company name and look at the stars next to it. Like, what do you need to know? Like, what do you need to do? You got to log into another website to see that, and just go on Google and look at it yourself. What's the problem? So yeah, when it comes to price, there's nobody out there. And again, it's just a win-win for everybody. I say that over and over and over again, and I say it in the video training like 9 million times. It's truly a win-win-win situation for everybody. And there's never been once in my career where I've ever seen that, where it really, at the end of the day, every single person involved wins. I mean, even with my sales training, Scott was talking about his pillow that he brought in one time, and it reminded me of a story that I had. I walked into a rare coin dealer one time, and I was trying to close the deal for his phone room. He had about 45 people in there, and I was going to train all those people. And I brought in the contract that I was using to close the deal and a pair of handcuffs. And I told the guy, I'm walking out in either these or with this signed. And he laughed, and he was like, and he said to me, if I had just 10 people that were as obnoxious as you, I wouldn't have to show up anymore. Long story short, I didn't close the deal. He threw me out. But the bottom line is, even when I'm training salespeople, it's not a win-win-win for everybody. Because those 50 people, I am making them uncomfortable. They hate me at the end of the day. I'm making them do things they don't want to do. They hate the environment. Everything is bad. They make a little bit of money if they follow what I teach them, but they don't like it. Here, everybody wins. Everyone's comfortable. Everyone likes what we have. They enjoy the tool. The tool works for them. It helps them make more money. It makes their customers make a more informed decision when they're going to choose between pizza place A and pizza place B. It just works all around for everybody. And you guys, the member, make a ton of money from it. And I think more importantly, the chamber and the community benefits from it as well. Because that's going to be your legacy at the end of the day, right? How many people did I help? It's not how many stupid Ferraris did I get. It's how many people did I help. And when you help one chamber of commerce, the magnitude of that is the amount of people that get touched by that is amazing. And that's really what blows me away. All the families that are attached to it, all the businesses and the customers and everyone that's attached to it, it's just amazing. It really, really is.
And then, David, what do you feel about being able to offer them some of the other products as well after they know, like, and trust us on the review tool?
That's what we're here for. That's exactly what we're here for. Upsell. Residual income. Oh, my goodness.
You're really going to like David once you get to know him. And Blanca too, Kenny.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money in the upsells that we have to offer. And, the same is true for them too. I mean, all of them, you do the 3-pack thing, like everybody benefits from that, and if the chamber can get a piece of that money, then more power to them. The one thing that I'll tell you guys, I mean, I don't know your financial situation, where you came from or anything like that, but, I do pretty well. I make a pretty decent income for myself. You give me one chamber that puts 10 grand a month in my pocket, I'm probably never talking to him again. Why? I'd rather go out and get another chamber of commerce. Why the hell am I going to talk to them about anything? I mean, I'm just going to let that check continue to come in. You want to upsell them, I'm not going to tell you not to. Go out there and sell stuff. I'm all about that. But listen, I'm so excited about the non-dues revenue thing with our Google review tool that I just can't stop talking about it. I think that it helps everybody. I'm not going to keep repeating myself, but it just helps everybody, and it's a win-win-win situation. It's the first time I've ever seen that. Every other opportunity that I've ever been in, eventually at some point somebody loses, and that has always bothered me. Whether it's the member that buys something and doesn't do anything, that's considered a loss, even if the training is really good. We have members in here that still aren't doing anything, and my one hope for this new Chamber of Commerce training that I'm putting out with Scott's help is that it really helps people that are maybe a little nervous or maybe a little new to get out there and at least go out and talk to their local chamber or somebody, because this non-dues revenue thing is such an eye-opener for them when you show them the numbers that they welcome you with open arms and they love it.
And I'd also like to tell everybody, get out of your comfort zone, but be funny. If you have to, and I promise I'm not kidding, get a pair of Groucho Marx glasses and wear them into the appointment. And when they ask you why you're doing that, say, I'm just absolutely terrified, and this is helping me be able to get through this. And then take the glasses off, and those people will treat you with kid gloves because they realize the courage that it took you to be able to come in and do this in the first place.
And Scott brings up another great point. The president of a chamber of commerce, I mean, obviously I can't speak for all of them because I don't know all of them, but I can tell you from based off of the people that I looked at so far, and it's been probably over 100, these people are real entrepreneurs. They're not just some guy with a Facebook ad. They're real entrepreneurs. What I've seen throughout my career when I'm dealing with real business people is that it is very, very rare that they are going to beat somebody up for no reason. They may tell you they're not interested. They may tell you they don't like what you have to offer, and that's okay. People are going to do that, but they're not going to be nasty to you. They're not going to be mean to you. They're not going to beat you up. And the reason why is because they remember what it was like when they went into their first deal. And if anything, they're usually going to lend a helping hand if you have a good offer, right? If you have a crappy offer, then you deserve to get beat up. But if you have a good offer, they're going to not only treat you with kid gloves, but they're going to offer you a helping hand, and they're going to like the fact and respect the fact that you had the courage to reach out to them. Most of the time. Not every one of them, but most of the time that's the case. And when you're talking to president, if they made it to the president of the Chamber of Commerce in their town, they're real entrepreneurs. And they get what you're going through. They've been in your spot, and they're going to respect you just for the sole purpose that you had the courage to actually go and do it. You know, it's kind of like, here's a stupid example, but I was just talking to one of my mentors today, and he fits into this mold. It's kind of like, you know, if you look at like the Navy SEALs, right? If you went through that training and you made it and you have that trident on your chest, you get instant respect. You don't have to talk about, oh, I was in Afghanistan 47 times and I was killing people every day. They don't care about that. If you went through the same, because they went through it and they went to the first day and they were scared to death too. So if you made it through all of that, you instantly get respect inside of that community. We have the same community, not giveaway masters, but entrepreneurs as a whole. If you just go and do the hard stuff in the beginning, they understand where they understand where you are because they were there when they started their landscaping company or siding company or whatever. They were there too. They had their first deal at some point too. They were scared to death too. And the reason why now they're the president of the Chamber of Commerce is because they too had the courage to make that first deal happen. So they know exactly where you are. And I'm not saying they're going to say yes to you every time, but they are going to respect you just for showing up. And they are going to try and do the best they can to at least not hurt you in any way or discourage you in any way from moving forward. If you have a good offer, which we have. If you have a bad offer and you're selling stupid stuff, then you deserve to get beat up, like I said before. But most of the time, they're going to respect you for showing up. And Jeff brings up a good point. Yeah, also because they want you to possibly become a member, which is true. I mean, that is true. You know, they know that if they do this with you, the possibility of you becoming a member of their chamber and becoming a part of their community is a high likelihood. So they're also going to respect you for that as well.
Can I share?
Scott, you got anything else?
No. The thing that has got me so more excited than at any time that I have been involved with this at all, besides when I first came to you and said, Google reviews, 30-day trial, we can get people to join us and help them. And you had 10 seconds of silence, and the only thing you said was, oh, shit. And I'm more excited right now because of how you have lit up like a Christmas tree over this non-dues revenue thing. And I'm confident that you're going to help more of our people that have kind of been sitting on the sidelines begin to wake up and say, hey, man, maybe I need to pay attention to what's going on here. And I'm telling you guys right now, we get to 25 and then we get to 50 and then we get to 100 chambers. We're going to have hit critical mass and this thing is going to blow sky high.
Ooh.
Yeah, and if you notice too, little bit of inside baseball, but you guys will get it. If you notice too, Scott, when you first came to me with this offer originally, the only thing that I would ever talk to you about or mention is, okay, we have this offer. How do I get people on the webinar? How do I fill up a room? Where do I find the people? What's the audience in Facebook look like? What's the audience on YouTube look like? What, who can I target? That was my thing, right? How do I perfect the webinar so I can get the 90-year-old grandmother and the 25-year-old SEO guy? Do I have two different? That's what I was talking about the whole time. Now all I can think about is how do I get in front of the chamber? How do I pitch the non-due revenue thing? Where do I get the fit? How do I do the perfect PDF or the perfect slideshow for them? I'm thinking about how to get the average, like Ray, who can't log in for some reason. How do I get Ray in front of his chamber of commerce so that he can use the material that we give him so that he can get his chamber on the non-dues revenue? I'm not even thinking about, this is kind of a shitty thing to say, but I'm not even thinking about my side of the deal. I'm not even thinking about bringing in new members. I'm thinking about how do we perfect what we have and how do we get every single one of the 500 or so people that are here to have one chamber each. That's what I'm thinking about, because I'm telling you right now, again, I keep saying it. This is the best opportunity that I've ever seen because it is a win-win-win situation for everyone involved. Nobody gets hurt. Everybody makes money. And I want every one of you to see that.
And Amy's got a question for you, Kenny.
Okay, how do we broach a software company that I don't know what broach means. Does that mean like how do we talk to?
Yes.
Okay. How do we talk to a software company that provides membership software to chambers? Thinking of a JV with them, we can offer it for free, then split the revenue. Yeah, you would basically just do a JV contract with them, and you would tell them, if we are a good match for them, then you would just tell them, listen, we're going to give you the software and, you raise your price by $40 a month or $50 a month, and we split whatever comes in above the $297 that you charge now or whatever it is. If you need help with that, it's fine. Usually a JV agreement like that would be solely based on the numbers behind the deal. I'm going to be doing a webinar next Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday, to get new members and giveaway masters with a guy named Matt Bush, who I'm sure a lot of you probably heard of before. He's a very, very big JV partner. And that was purely based on what's my dollar per attendee, what's my dollar per lead, what's the conversion rate on the live call, what's the conversion rate on a replay, and is the training good? Can I see the members area? That's all they cared about. That's all he cared about, right? And I'm not saying he's a bad guy. It's just it's a number. It's a business, right? So that person who owns that software company is going to want to know, what does the tool look like? Does it work? Number one, because I'm not selling bad stuff to my people. So that's number one. Then how many people keep it? What's the attrition rate? How long did they keep it for? What's the refund rate on the people that have it? What do you charge? And all that stuff. It's going to be purely a numbers-based conversation. And if the numbers work out and both of you can make money with it, and he likes what you have, if he likes the tool and he believes that it'll work for his audience, then he'll probably promote it with you. It's really just that simple. Your problem is going to be, Amy, that you don't have any of that hard data to show him. Right. So the first webinar that we did for Giveaway Masters, I mailed my list a couple times and we had a couple webinars with them. Then we did some webinars with JV partners. So I had the data to bring to other partners. If you don't have that data, it's very hard to get the first one unless you know them personally or something. So that would be the only thing that I would tell you, right? If you're going to go and talk to a software company about that, I would probably get a chamber or two on board first. This way you have the data to show them. And you could say, listen, Chamber A has 1,500 members. Out of the 1,500, 300 signed up. They pay $60 a month. That's the data there. Chamber B has 1,000 members. They did a little bit better at selling it. So they have 500 people that signed up. They pay $60 a month. There's the data at that. The attrition rate is around 4 months. The average person keeps it for 4 months. So the average person keeps it for, I don't know. We've been involved with the chamber for 6 months and nobody canceled yet. Whatever it is, right? Whatever the numbers are, get real data. Then go and approach that software company and say, here's the numbers behind the deal. This is what I'm seeing with the current chambers that I have. If we can plug this in with your software and we can sell it as a package, I have no reason to believe that the numbers would be any different. And here's how the split would work between me and you. Draw up a simple JV contract and you're good to go. But without that hard data, it's a hard deal to close.
And Amy, you can unmute yourself if you want to. If you want to, you can unmute yourself and ask to make sure you got your question answered correctly.
No, that answers my question. I was just kind of doing some research and was actually looking up non-dues revenue, and that's kind of how I came across this company because they had a bunch of resources. And so she reached out to me and said, hey, I saw that you downloaded some of our information. Do you have time to talk? So I thought, oh, what the heck, might as well. So I set it up for 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and figured if nothing else, we'll have a chat and see, what, I'll just use it as a learning experience.
Amy, do they know the lady that you talked to? Does she know what you do? Does she know what you have or no?
No, she has no idea. I just downloaded some of their resources off of their off of theirs, and then she reached out to me and said, hey, if you have time, I'd love to talk to you. So,
okay. The reason why I asked that question, Amy, is because my answer would have been completely different if my answer stays the same and what I said is true. It would be completely different, though, if that lady reached out to you and said, Amy, I saw your Google review tool. I saw what you have with the non-dues revenue thing. I think it'll be perfect for what we have. It's a perfect match for what we have. Let's talk and see if we can make money together. You don't need hard data for that conversation, right? But if she doesn't know your tool, if she doesn't know, and she's just calling you because you opted into their thing and you downloaded some information, then she's probably going to try to sell you something, number one. And number two, see what they have. Let her pitch you first. This is how I would do it. Let her pitch you first and say, you know what? This would probably be a great match for what I have. And one of my favorite lines in the world is, I know, maybe now is not the right time, but I know that eventually me and you can make a lot of money together and change a lot of lives and have a really big impact on the community. We just got to figure out how that's going to work. I use that line all the time and it works really, really well. And, again, maybe now isn't the right time. Maybe you have to go out there and prove your concept a little bit to get hard data for her. But she may say, I think it's a great match. Let's see if we can work out the details. Let's see if we can come out with a good percentage split that everybody's happy and everybody makes money and we get it in the hands of the chambers of commerce. And if she does, that's positive feedback and that's great. And you can work the deal from there. But again, just so everybody knows and everybody's clear, if they reach out to you and they say, I saw your tool, it's awesome, let's talk further, that's a different JV conversation than you reaching out to them and saying, hey, I have something that I think your audience might love. Those are two different conversations. And I've been involved in many on both sides, right? Someone will reach out to me and say, hey, I saw your offer. It's awesome. I'd love to promote it to my list. That's an easy deal to close. You just say, okay, here's the email, swipe and go promote it. We'll have a webinar on Wednesday. That's not a big deal. But if I'm actively recruiting JVs, the way that I recruit them is purely by numbers. That's the only way I do it. That's the only way, really, in my experience, that works. It's the same way, I know you guys are all familiar with Warrior Plus. You think Mike Lance actually says, oh, well, this is the best product today, so I'm going to promote the best product today. No. Like Amazon Kindle, most of the best books that you're going to see on Amazon Kindle, nobody even downloaded. They're written by some dude in the middle of Australia or whatever that nobody's ever heard of before. Nobody sees them. The best product, the product that gets promoted on Warrior Plus is the one with the best numbers. The best book on the New York Times bestsellers list is not the best written book. It's the best book by sale numbers, right? So JV partnerships work the same exact way. If you have the numbers and you reach out to people, you can easily get them. If you don't have any numbers, it's very, very difficult to do. So you have to prove your concept some way, shape, or form in order to get that to work. And that's why another thing, a lot of times, and I think I say this on the sales webinar for Giveaway Masters, the only real way to get involved in an industry and be successful without really beating doors down, right? You could do it just by pure pressure. You could get into an industry. But the easiest way to do it is to know someone who's already successful in that industry. When I started doing webinars, I was friends with Mike Filsame, so it was easy. I had his list. He had 1 million people on his email list. He was like, we can do a webinar whatever you want. He drew boxes on a board, and he said, we'll do it Wednesday. He mailed his list. I had an audience, and that was it. And from that email, from that webinar, I had numbers to show other people, and I now had a list to promote my own stuff to. But if I didn't know him, I would never be able to do that, right? And that's like every industry that I've ever been in. I knew somebody higher up than me that would help me there. If I didn't, then I would need to prove out my concept before I went in. So it's the same thing with the JV deal. You need to have those numbers unless they reach out to you.
And it also helps that if you show them our online review machine website, we're members of the Better Business Bureau, and the chambers that we've got on board so far have all of their logos on there. so you can build off or you can leverage off the credibility that we have put together on that website for you.
Yep, without a doubt. And Michael says he won't be available to go face to face for a couple of weeks, and usually a quarter of the year he's overseas. That sounds awesome, Michael. Congratulations, that's cool. It's not ideal, but would a phone only approach work? The answer to that question is yes and no.
What other country are you going to?
Right, you may have groups in that country, so keep that in mind. But as far as pitching, he's going to Taiwan. As far as pitching U.S. Chamber of Commerce's and having it be a phone-only approach, I'm not sure if I would go that route, just for the sole purpose. And I'm saying that. So, I mean, I'm a phone guy, right? I don't know if I do that just because I really, truly believe that they need to see it, number one. And number two, I really, truly believe that the Chambers of Commerce really care about their local community and they want someone local to them. Now, the good news for you, Michael, is that you can go in the Facebook group right now and say, hey, I'm willing to use the phone. I'm willing to set appointments. I'm willing to talk to people, but I'm overseas for half of the year and I can't get face-to-face for a couple of weeks. You know, give me some replies. Who wants some appointments at their local Chamber of Commerce? Because I'll sit here and book them for you and we'll split the money. Partner up with somebody who's in an area where they don't want to get on the phone. They don't want to, they'll go in and meet with someone, but they don't want to set the appointment. You do some of the work with them. They do some of the work here locally, and you're good to go. There's going to be some stuff that you could pick up on your end, such as onboarding or whatever, if you want to do some of that. Whatever it is, there's a way we have members all over the country. So there's a way for you to partner with them. And the other thing, too, all you got to do is post one post in the Facebook group, and you'll have people replying to you instantly because there's plenty of people in there that are scared to death to talk to people on the telephone. So that would be fine. And the other thing, too, again, is – see, you already have David saying, I'll work with you. We can split half. I love face-to-face. There you go. You didn't even post it in the Facebook group yet. You got one already. So, and David is doing very well with the face-to-face thing, obviously. He got 2 of them on board already, I think. And the other thing, too, is look in the area that you're going to. Look where you're going. There are groups. Doesn't have to be a Chamber of Commerce. That's what we're talking about now. But I'm sure Taiwan has their version of whatever we do here. Right? They may even have a Chamber of Commerce. I don't know, but they have some sort of business networking community in that country. So if you can, I don't know how well you speak the language over there, but if you can communicate with them effectively, then you'll be fine.
Hey, can I say something?
Yes.
I wanted to share about my experience yesterday. I was getting some businesses, basically restaurants, during rush dinner hour. I was 6 to 8, and before I would go in the restaurant, I would Google their reviews, and if they were 4 or 5 stars, they were literally busy. But if they had 3.9 or less, it was a direct correlation to what was going on in the business. So I was like, wow, those reviews really say a lot. They really mean something.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what? Especially, I think it's even more true if you look at tonight would be a great night, like a random Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday night. You compare and contrast a 3-star restaurant to a 5-star restaurant on a Wednesday evening, you're going to see a major difference. Friday and Saturday might not be so much because the 5-star restaurant has a 45-minute wait. So people go to the crappy places, just to go out or whatever. But on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday night, the 3-star guy has tables all over the place. The 5-star guy's still filled up. So it's really, it's true. And if you can definitely use that to your advantage. I'm going to share my screen here really quickly. I have a lot of crap open right now, but while I was sitting here, I just went over in Taiwan, and obviously I don't know the language. I have no idea what these little symbols mean. They look cool, but I don't know what any of them mean. But I searched Chamber of Commerce, and you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the same thing as the U.S. They all have no reviews. So you can go there and scroll around and take a look. I'm doing this cold. I have no idea what I'm seeing, but it looks to me like they're all over the place. Oh, Jesus. So you might want to just try and and see. Obviously, like I said, there's not going to be as many as you can see with the search results, but there's definitely some in the area. I have no idea where in Taiwan you are. I hope to God you're not back here somewhere because that looks like all mountains. But like, you know, in the major cities or whatever, it seems like there's at least some in this one upper part of the country here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they all have, you know, it's the same result as we have in the U.S. All right, so he's saying in I'm going to say TP because it's probably not the area. It's probably not the name. Okay, here it is right here. So let's take a look and see what we got going on. Okay, there you go. If you're anywhere near this little dot right here, then you're pretty much good to go. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not going to count them all, but you see just scrolling down the list. You have plenty of opportunity with the Chamber of Commerce over in that area. Again, if you want to go a little bit in another direction, maybe there's some over here somewhere. But there's plenty of them for you to work with, especially in this business district that you just said you were in. So I would work them first. Obviously, if there's a language barrier, you might have a little bit of a problem. But there's a European Chamber of Commerce of Taiwan. They probably speak English. Or if you could speak the language, then more power to you. That's awesome. All right, Scott, you got anything else?
I have one lady, since we're recording this, she hit me up in Facebook, and she was saying that basically, I think the part that she was missing out on is that the chamber is actually the one that when this works out right, that the chamber is the one that's actually going to be selling this, not a member. And you want to touch kind of on the difference. If the chamber sells it, Kenny, then if our members have to go out and sell it?
Sure. Yeah. Originally, when we started Giveaway Masters, the idea was that you guys were going to go out and give away free trials to your local plumber, your local roofer, whatever, the power base. And you guys are free to do all that too. I mean, all that training is going to stay in there. It's all going to be part of the bonus section, but you can use the power base thing. That's how I built every one of my companies. I built my Facebook ad agency to a $2 million company in 18 months, and I'm not even off Long Island yet. It's all people I know. It's all people that do business with me already. You know, the guy that cuts my lawn, the guy that cuts my hair. Those are the people that I work with. So a lot of the fishing charter boats out here are clients of mine. So you can go do all that stuff too. This way is just so much easier for you. And in my opinion, it's so much better because you get to affect so many more people. As far as the chamber selling the deal for you, you have to understand that when you sell something, authority is a big factor. And you can fake it. And I'm not saying that in a negative way because I fake it all the time. But you can fake authority or you can really be authority. So what I mean by that is if you walk into a car showroom, right, you can have a really good salesperson that it's his first day in that showroom and he sounds like he's been there for 6 years. He can open up the car door and say, oh, look, it has power windows, power door locks. It has AC. It has a DVD player in the front dash or whatever. He can sound like he's been there forever, but he's been there for the first day. That's quote unquote faking authority. He's not going to lie to them and say, I've been here for 6 years, but he can fake his authority by his tonality, his pace, the structure of his pitch, right? When you give the ability to the Chamber of Commerce the ability to sell what we have, they have massive authority with their audience. Massive. If the chamber tells them to do something, they are going to do it. It's not a matter of convincing them or handling objections or any of that. They are going to do it. So if they have that authority and that trust with them already, you might as well just let them do it. There's no reason for you to be involved. That's in my opinion, that's the major benefit of having the chamber sell it. And you can add to it too. You don't have to do anything, which is cool. You know, that's fine. But they're just going to be able to close the deal much better than you can, or even a highly trained salesperson can. You know, if I go to 1,000 chamber members, right? Maybe I get 100 of them to buy something from me. If the chamber goes to their 1,000 members, they're not going to get everybody because, you know, everybody doesn't do anything, right? That's something I say all the time. Everybody doesn't do anything. But they may be able to get 300 or 400 or maybe even 500, I'll never get 500 of them. Maybe I'll get 100, right? And I'm not going to brag here, but I've been doing this for a long time. Maybe the average person here out of those 1,000 can get 20 or 30 to start off, and then they leverage that real data to get another 20 or 30, and then they max out at 100 over a course of six month period of time. The chamber can close 500 like that, boom, right at the start. Because the chamber says something, those people are going to fall in line, and they're going to do it because they trust them, right? Now, there's a quote unquote negative side to that as well. It helps us greatly, but it's a little bit of a problem for our competition and everybody else, a lot of other people out there, because the chamber is only going to recommend things to their audience that really is great and it really works. So the reason why I consider that quote unquote a negative is because, number one, we really have to prove that our tool is going to get reviews for them. The tool works, the technology works, but we have to be able to put phone numbers and emails into that tool. So the chamber is we have to get access to those names and numbers, right? We have to put numbers in there to get the chamber reviews. Once that chamber goes from 1, 2, or 3 stars, or 1, 2, or 3 reviews or whatever, to 30 or 40 or 50 inside of a month, they are going to recommend it to every single person in the group, everybody. And they're going to be able to sell to those people at a very high rate because they have authority. And that group also knows they're only going to recommend something that really works and that they believe in. And if the group sees the chamber using it and the chamber's recommending it to the group, they're going to fall in line. Now, it's a negative again because we have to spend time proving it, but it's a positive too. Go ahead, sorry.
And with a 39% off retail hot deal that the chamber worked out for them.
Right, a discount. Yeah, the chamber was able to secure a discount to the tool. So the proving of the concept and the chamber only recommending things that they believe in is a little bit of a negative because it takes a little bit of time, a couple days, a couple weeks to prove out the thing, right? We have to get reviews for them first. We have to do that. With that said, though, it's also a massive positive for us because it filters out all of the other things that might be considered as a non-dues revenue program, right? The SEO guy can't go to the Chamber of Commerce and pitch it as a non-dues revenue thing. They just can't do it. It's going to take him 6 months to prove that what he does works. He can't do it. It's never going to work for him, right? The local web developer can't do it. The Facebook ad guy really can't do it. It has to be something like we have. It just happens to be that we have the perfect offer for what they're looking for. It proves quickly. It proves easily. It's relatively cheap for everybody. And the chamber can make a ton of money on it and everybody can afford it. So once they get in there and they prove the concept and they know the tool works and it gets reviews for them, they will be able to recommend it to their members and they'll sell it like crazy. You can sell to those same people. That's fine. You can do that, but they are going to close at a much higher rate. Even if you're one of the best salespeople in the world, they're going to close at a higher rate than you will because whether you like it or not, the Chamber of Commerce has more authority with those people than you ever will. And that includes me. That includes Scott. That includes everybody. I mean, that includes whoever, right? The Chamber of Commerce is going to have more of an authority with them than you, I, or Scott ever will, no matter how good we are.
And I'm really, 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 really good at warming up to people really, really, really fast to where they really, really, really like me. But I got no shot in just meeting somebody cold and warming up to them in a little bit than a chamber does that they have been paying dues to for years, going to all the events. They know all the people, they like them, they know that these guys, you know, have the authority and the trust with them that we'll never get in that amount of time, ever.
Yeah, and guys, too, don't forget the Debbie, real quick, you still got to prove it to them. Yes, that it works. And it doesn't have to be 30 days. And the number of the how do I say this? The amount of proof that you need depends on the individual person. So there might be one Chamber of Commerce that you talk to where you bring them from no reviews, like the Northwest Connecticut Chamber that I'm looking at right now in Torrington, Connecticut. If they have no reviews and you bring them 10 reviews in the first week, concept proven, done. Right? Now, there may be another one like the Windsor Chamber of Commerce that I'm looking at right now, where you bring them from 6 reviews that they're at now, You bring them to, up to 16, you get them the same 10 in the first week, and they're like, yeah, that's good, but I need to see a little bit more. You bring them 30 in the first month, now they're happy, right? So the level of proof that you need depends on the individual person and the individual chamber that you're working with. You also can't forget the member-to-member authority and the member-to-member sales that you're going to get as well. What I mean by that is, let's kind of take my world, right? I'm not a member of a chamber of commerce. And like I said, I before we started doing this, I've never walked into one in a day of my life. So I'm friends with a lot of people on Warrior Plus. I know Mike Lance personally. I know Shane personally, right? If Mike sent me a Skype message or sent me a text message or called me or whatever and said, dude, I got this new funnel builder thing. ClickFunnels is awesome, but this new thing that we just came out with is freaking amazing. And the price is like a tenth of what ClickFunnels charges. You should really check it out. I'm going to buy that based on his authority and based on our friendship that we had for the past 7 years, right? Now, here's another side of it. Me and Luther Landro are both members of the Warrior Plus community. We both sell stuff on there, right? If Luther, a member, not the authority figure, but a member comes to me and says, dude, I just found this new funnel builder thing. It's half the price of ClickFunnels and it's amazing. You should check it out. I'm going to trust him because we're in the same group. We've known each other. We're part of the same community. So if he's using it and he likes it, I'm going to trust it and at least give it a try. So not only is the chamber going to be the authority figure and sell the thing for you, the member-to-member sales that you're going to get is going to be astronomical as well. Because once Joe, the pizza guy, gets it and he likes it, the plumber that's next door to him in the shopping center, he's going to talk to that guy. They're both members of the chamber and they're friends. They work right next to each other. The pizza guy loves it. The pizza guy's getting reviews. The plumber is going to get that information as well, and he's going to sign up based on the pizza guy's recommendation, not necessarily the president of the chamber or the group as a whole. So the member-to-member sales are going to be huge as well. Ripple effects, right? Like David said, and that's probably what I just gave is probably a terrible example, but I am literally a member of 0 groups. So I don't really do that kind of thing. So that's the best example that I can come up with. But it's all about authority. That's really what it is.
And I'd also like to throw something in there as well. Do any of y'all understand what's going to happen in the next 6 months when our website has got 100 chambers that you can go into a new chamber and knock on the door and just say, look at our website. If they haven't already heard about us through the chambers talking to each other, it's going to be so much easier in 6 months than it is right now.
Yeah, there's going to come a point, and I don't want to get anybody really excited about this because I don't know when this is going to happen, but there is going to come a time where chamber is going to be the ones contacting you.
Yes.
As opposed to you contacting them. And to be honest with you, that's you still have to get out there. If you live in Northwestern Connecticut, and that's just where I am on my map right now. If you live in Northwest Connecticut, you still have to be known by the West Hartford Chamber, the Windsor Chamber, the Manchester Chamber, the Tolland Chamber. You still have to be known by those people, because if they don't know who you are, then even if they get the information, they're not going to reach out to you because they don't know who the hell you are, right? So you still have to get out of obscurity and let them know who you are. But the bottom line is at some point in time, they are going to reach out to you. And Scott says 6 months. I think it might even happen sooner than that with the rate. Listen, the official Giveaway Masters Chamber of Commerce training isn't even on. I'm not even done with it yet. I learned what non-dues revenue was Monday morning, and I've been without internet access for 2.5 days. And we already have, I think, Scott, 3 on board. Imagine what it's going to be like when the actual training videos and the PDFs and the PowerPoint slides are up there. And it's not long either. I really condensed it down to a step-by-step process that you guys can follow. I don't want to confuse anybody. But imagine when that is actually live, which is going to be tonight, for everybody to use. You could just go out there and just scroll through the PowerPoint slide and just read to them if you want. Or just turn your computer around and show it to them if you want to. Or do it on your iPad or iPhone or whatever. So again, it's going to come a point where they're going to know who you are and they're going to reach out to you. And another thing that's going to help you too, did you talk to them about the website ranking thing yet?
No.
Okay, so then maybe we should mention it. But the one thing I'll say is they have to know who you are in some way, shape, or form. You have to get out of obscurity.
Let's just say this, and we are going to help each one of you in a humongous way in that area. So let's just keep it at that. Let's just keep it there until we release, and it's probably going to be next week.
Right. Well, and yeah, just to like really quickly add to that, what I was going to say is that right now, the best thing that you could do is go out there and let them know who you are. But at some point in the future, Scott said in a week, I thought it was going to be longer than that, but some point in the near future, we are going to help you get known without you having to go out there and
anything but breathe.
Right. Yeah. They're going to know who you are. That doesn't mean you don't go out and pitch them. You still go out and pitch them. But when it comes time for them to find you, they'll be able to find you without having to hunt you down. We'll put it there. Chase me in Atlanta. I'm planting seeds. Yeah, that's what you got to do. Plant those seeds all over the place. Everywhere you go, just plant them. All right, Scott, we good? Or you have anything else?
David, you got anything else?
No, I'm just excited, man. I'm just excited.
Good. Blanca, you excited?
I'm way overexcited. I'm restless.
Just imagine, Kenny, now that we have the Spanish coming, man, we'll be able to infiltrate with Blanca. We'll be able to infiltrate the Spanish community.
That's right.
Yeah, so Scott, about that, I have a question for you. I think I know the answer already, but a lot of people don't know. My grandfather is actually from Spain. I am 25% Spanish. I can't speak the language, even though I started taking it in 3rd grade. I can't really speak it all that well. He speaks it fluently. But why did we not make that the first language that we translated it to?
Well, because it just, hey, I mean.
It happened the way it did, huh?
Yeah. Thank you for being nice and answering it that way.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I was just curious. It's obviously a popular language.
Well, we had a member who spoke French that just demanded that we get French.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So, okay, we did it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, I haven't slept in about 90 days, and I promise you can ask David, and Kenny knows it too. I mean, I'm doing as much as I can every single day, and there's some things that look like that they're pretty obvious and pretty ridiculous that I haven't done yet. Yeah, but I mean, the more of you guys that come along and share in the Facebook group and share in the think tank of what we're all trying to do together, then the better off we're all going to be quicker.
Yep, I agree with that 100%.
And I wrote Kenny today and told him, I said, man, there's some things that are beginning to happen in our group now. And I mean, it just, I'm a warm, fuzzy guy. So that's just how it is. And one of the reasons that I'm doing this is I've made plenty of money all my life. I can sell. I can force myself to go do it, and I can do it, and I'm good at it. But the reason I'm doing this is because of the fulfilling factor of knowing that I'm helping you guys change your lives. That's what drives me to work all the time. And I'm probably going to be up tonight till probably 1 or 2, because as soon as we finish the webinar, I'm going to be having people asking questions and calling me. And I'm sure Kenny's going to call me to take a look at some of the training, and I want to see that. And so, but I just want all you guys to know that I was beginning to see happen in the Facebook group today, and it was with you, Ray. There were other members in our group that were sitting there saying, hey, man, you can do it. You can do it. Instead of me being the only one kind of in there looking out to be cheerleading. We've got other members now who are that have faced the fears that they've got and are beginning to come in there and look at you, Ray, and tell you, like Jim Crabb did today, like Shelley, that you guys are facing these fears and realizing that all the limitations that you have are all self-imposed. And when I say go get a pair of Grasso Marx glasses and go do your presentations with them, I'm really not kidding. Because if you do that, the other person you're going to disarm that other person. And you take the glasses off, and then the two of you can just talk together like human beings. So anyway, that's my warm and fuzzy kumbaya pitch for the evening.
Yeah, and you know what, Scott? I'll quickly just add to that. I mean, I've been preaching the fact that it's not about the stuff for years because it's not. I mean, you know, I spent a little bit of money on fishing stuff and my boat and all that, but all the other stuff is kind of dumb. I went out and I bought. It's nice to be able to, you know, about a week ago, I guess, walk into the Apple store and just spend $1,200 on a new phone because my phone broke. I mean, it's nice to be able to not have to worry about, oh, can I upgrade or can I, like that little, quote unquote, little stuff is nice when you have a little bit of extra money and you know, you make a pretty decent income. That stuff is nice. But the iPhone 8 Plus that I got, I'm like already over it. Like, I don't care. But I will never forget the Jim Crabb story. Ever.
How about Shelly?
And right, he was the first one that popped into my head. But yeah, Shelly Benton, the same thing. I will never, and even, guys, listen, David's obviously a killer. He's been on here the whole time. He could sell anything that he wants. It's obvious, right?
Blanca,
even when I got the message from Scott that David and Blanca got that Chamber of Commerce and they're working on the Atlanta one, I will never forget receiving that. And I'll never forget the first time Scott gave me this idea. You know, talk to me about this idea, brought this to me. I will never forget that conversation. And I went all the way back in our Skype conversation about a week ago, and I copied and cut out on my snipping tool in Windows the first time he ever presented this to me, just to save it and keep it, to remember like how it all started off. And it's just, those are the things that really, you know, mean a lot. And I don't want to get too Tony Robbins on you, but someone told me when I was very young, what matters the most, money is the most important thing in the world. I will always fight to the death on that one. I truly believe that. But something that's very, very important as well is how many people you affect. So the person that told me this basically said, how many people are going to be at your funeral? Because dollar bills don't show up. And I was like, damn, dude, I'm not going to go start a charity tomorrow, but I get it. You know? So that's the thing. This is a great offer because it helps a lot of people. And, you know, we're helping each other in the membership group. And again, it helps the chamber, it helps the businesses, it helps all the families attached to that, helps the community. And as sad as it is for me to say, it's just the truth. I don't want every community in America and in the world looking like my main street now looks, where 10 years ago when I walked, I didn't live out here 10 years ago, but 5 years ago when I walked down there, every single shop was filled with something. Now every third shop is filled with something. And in 5 years, every 10 shops will be filled with something, and on and on and on. And I don't want that to be every community. I don't want every city in America looking like Flint, Michigan, minus the bad water. You know, I want people to flourish, and I want people to survive, and I want people to be able to make their own way. And I believe that our tool is not the end all be all to that. It's not going to solve, quote unquote, the quote unquote problem, but it will definitely help the people that take advantage of it, because the people with good reviews are going to survive, and the people that are getting smashed online every day just aren't. And that's just the way it is. Customers go to the places that are reviewed good. It's proven through the data. Proven on Amazon. It's proven in movies. It's proven on Yelp. It's proven on everywhere you go. You know, it's proven everywhere. People choose stuff based on what other people say. That has been around forever.
Yep.
It's the word of, what we do is the word of mouth of 2018 and beyond. That's what it is. 10 years ago, we were telling people, oh yeah, go to this place. It's awesome. Go to that place. It's great. Me and my wife went there the other day. It's amazing. Now that's digital. This is the word of mouth of 2018 and beyond. And it's only getting bigger. If you think it's going away, it ain't going away. It's only getting bigger. It's only growing. That's why Google themselves are putting a lot of, I get emails all the time about, do you want to be a local guy? Do you want a star next to you? I'm like, dude, listen, don't even stop, unsubscribe, right? I don't want to deal with any of that crap. But it's only getting bigger, and it's only going to get bigger from this point forward. And you guys are in the, you know, all of us, not you guys, all of us together are in at the I guess, as close to the ground floor as we possibly can. And we're going to try to grow with it as it gets bigger.
And I also wanted to throw in, remember that we are a global opportunity. The more we grow, then we'll translate into other languages everywhere that Google is. And Kenny, I know that you probably know, in the next 5 to 10 years, how many people are going to connect on the internet for the first time compared to how many are connected today?
I'm going to guess 3 billion with a B.
And how many of those would you say would be interested in finding a way to make money online?
3 billion with a B.
Right. Some of those people are going to want, and if we can position ourselves as one of the go-to ways where average people can make an above average income, what are we going to look like in 10 years?
Yeah, no, you're right. And I think equally as important to that is the fact that not if, but when Amazon, Facebook, all those companies end up literally really taking over everything. When they do that, not if, but when they do that, what is the local 9-to-5 office guy going to do for an income? They're probably going to say, you know what? Well, shit, I'm a pretty good landscaper. Start cutting lawn. And then what do they need? They need Google reviews in order to get customers. It's just the bottom line. They do. They could be the best cold caller and door knocker in the world. If they have 2 stars on Google, they're not going to close that deal because those people are looking them up before they buy. They just are. The data is there. They are. So when those people all lose their job and get laid off, which most of them are going to, not if, but when, it's going to happen, right? James Altucher wrote about it 3 years ago in Choose Yourself. It's going to happen, okay? So the bottom line is, what are those people going to do? They're going to turn to the skill that they have, whatever it is, painting, swinging a hammer all day and building decks or putting driveways in, or they're going to start a pizza place, whatever it is. They're going to have to do something where they are essentially self-employed. And if that's the case, not only can they make money with what we do here, that's true, and that's great, but they also are going to need our tool in order to survive. So yes, the income generating opportunity is massive for all the people out there, but the tool is equally as important to the amount of people that are going to be coming into our market and needing our services over the next 3 to 5 years. There's going to be a massive influx of qualified prospects for every single one of you.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And you can thank Jeff Bezos for getting them all laid off when he does.
And Kenny, not just massive, but massive beyond what we can even conceive. 3 billion people. And one other thing, Kenny, and I know this is something that we're going to keep, tight-lipped about for a while, but we're also going to be offering them other products to be able to sell, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Guys, right now, today in 2018, there's 540,000 new businesses started every month in the United States. Mm-hmm. That's today. Imagine when Bezos starts laying off all these people at the local factory. He's not going to do it directly, but Amazon's going to come in. They're going to be undercut. They're going to get cut out. The same thing goes when, Upwork and all these places become really mainstream, and the idiot who's running the company now, who's 70 years old, when his 25-year-old or 30-year-old son takes over, and he's like, dude, I can hire an accountant over in Tunisia for $3 an hour. Why am I paying you $80,000 a year? He's going to let that guy go. When all that happens, all those people are going to become self-employed. When they become, or they're going to become welfare recipients, which means you have to make more money so that we can keep them alive. But when they become self-employed, they're going to need your tool. And with that, they're going to need another opportunity to make more money. So you could, both of the opportunities are there. The bottom line is that you guys are going to have, and us too, are going to have more of an opportunity to do this, over the next 3 to 5 years than ever before. And the thing I will end with, because I know these calls on Thursday night usually only go for about 45 minutes, and sometimes when I come on, they last for 3 hours. But the thing that I will end with is, you hear us talking about 3 to 5 years. I mentioned 10 years before. Guys, listen. This is not something that's going to close down and we're going to have another webinar offer in 6 months. This is something that's going to be here for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say forever, because maybe me and Scott get into the discussion of selling it at some point or whatever, but we are here for at least, I would say, I'm committed to at least 10 years of doing this.
Me too.
At least, this is a long-term play for us, and hopefully it is for all of you guys too, because we see the future. That's a stupid thing to say, but we see the data in regards to the future. And we know how many people, like Scott said, 3 billion people coming online. We understand that 540,000 new businesses start in the United States every day. We understand that freaking Taiwan. I've never looked at Taiwan on a map in my life. I didn't even know where it was. I thought we took it over. I swear to God. I thought we went in there and took it over. I thought it was an American thing. There's Chamber of Commerces in Taiwan. Who the hell knew? I didn't know. They're all over the place. So the opportunity is massive. And it's just getting bigger every single day. And we are at a point right now where we are in early enough where we can be the early adapter and we can win.
Yes.
We can definitely win at a massive scale. And I'm not talking about me and Scott. I'm talking about us as a group.
Yes.
The Giveaway Masters group can win at a massive scale.
Yes.
And I'm not going to get into this in detail because I think it would be the wrong thing to do. But I will tell you this. No matter what anybody tells you, or no matter what anybody tries to show you, or no matter what anybody tries to pull you, if anybody tries to pull you away, you can hopefully trust me enough when I tell you that there is no other platform on the internet that allows you to do what we do.
That's right.
Zero. There's none. Not even close. Not even close. And we looked into it today. There is no other platform that does what we do. There's no other Google review tool that allows you to do what you do with what we have. Zero. Okay, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, you go to Bird Eye and see if they'll drive 19 hours to meet you at a Chamber of Commerce. Go ahead, Sparky.
Yeah, and you know what? Sparky, while you're there, go and ask Bird Eye if you could sell it for $60 a month.
They charge you $85 for it.
Go ask any other place, anywhere. You're not going to be able to sell anything like this at $60 a month and stay in business.
And have the chamber sell it for you.
And have the chamber sell it for you. It's financially
ridiculous.
impossible. We looked at every other review platform on the internet that we could find. It is financially impossible for anything else to be offered at the rate that we offer it at. Impossible. It can't happen. You guys could go out and probably sell other review platforms at $60 a month, but the problem is you go broke because you'll lose money on everyone that signs up.
And you have to do all the work to try to maintain it all.
Right. And we did the math. You would lose money on every deal. Like you would be like, stop selling it because every time you sell it, I lose $20 a month. You can't do it. It's impossible. So again, I'm really excited about this. I've never been excited about something like this, this much in the past. I've pitched many webinars, as you probably know. I've sold many courses, as you probably know. This is the first thing that I've ever seen. And this was true before the non-dues revenue thing came into play. This is truly the thing that I believe anybody can do. And that was true when I was teaching people how to pitch at the plumbers. I mean, now, Jesus, God in heaven. I tell Scott every day, it's almost to the point where like, why don't we just fly around the country and just go to chambers? Take 1 week out of the month and just fly around the country.
And I hope all of you guys can understand that, I've pursued Kenny for 4 years and we have done well. Okay. We have, from January the 18th until now, we've done well. And I'm pinching myself every day because this is has got to be happening to somebody else because I'm just like every one of you guys. I was struggling for 4 years trying to make this stuff work. Spent $32,000 and hardly made any money back at all. I bet you I didn't make $5,000 back.
Did you buy any of my stuff?
Yeah, that's why I kept calling you, man.
Well, just listen for the record, just so the group understands. The reason why Scott didn't make anything from the stuff he bought from me is because he didn't do anything.
You're correct. You're exactly correct.
I'm kind of joking, but I'm kind of not because that's what everybody says.
And I'm not bashful about that. I didn't take the action that I needed to in order to make it work. But I just want you guys to know that since Monday morning when Kenny and I had a discussion, and I think that I was able to help open his eyes about what this non-dues revenue thing actually really means, I've seen a different Kenny for the last 4 days than I have the whole time since I've known him. And he's one of those.
I had no internet for 2 days. I went for the first time, the second time actually, I did this once before and it was terrible. But for the first time in probably 3 years, I actually went to like a public location to try to work. I hate that, like going to Starbucks. I can't do it because there's all people walking in and everybody's yelling and screaming and I can't do it. But I actually did that because I if I had internet on Tuesday, I would have been hitting chambers of commerce all day on Tuesday. Just going around. And I'm so thankful that now I found Rick, who's a member of our group, that's an hour and a half away from me, where me and him are going to start booking appointments, and we're going to just hit Staten Island, Queens, Brooklyn, whatever, and we're going to just go out and go crazy. You know, so now I have a member that I'm connected with that we could do that for. So it's just, I've never been so excited about anything. And I'm not a very passionate person. Like I don't believe in the whole passion thing. Find something you're passionate about. I think that's all bullshit. But I've never been like this before ever with anything.
And I'm from North Carolina, yeah, Jay, in Apex, and I grew up in Banner Elk. I went to Appalachian State, and I just hope you guys can understand. I mean, whatever else you have bought online, have you ever seen the owners of the guys that sold you that stuff acting like Kenny and I act like? I mean, we're working with you. We didn't just sell you this stuff and then we got to try to figure out what we're going to sell you next. And we're not in a Facebook group pretending to be friendly to you just because we're going to try to offer you something else. That is the biggest bunch of crap. I hate those guys doing that to people because it's so phony, and the people that are in those groups actually feel like the guys in charge of those groups give a shit about them, and they don't. The only reason that they're trying to be friendly to you is so you will buy the next thing that they recommend, wink, wink. And they're scumbags, and it pisses me off.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And most of them are friends of mine. But you're right. They are. You know, I said to Scott, I think it was this morning, Scott, it might have been yesterday. I said, for the first time in my life, I'd partnered with a lot of people, you know, and whatever. But for the first time ever, when we held a webinar, the first one we did, we put, 80 people into the program or whatever when we first started from my list. Or whatever the number was, I don't remember. And I was blown away by the fact that the next morning, Scott wanted to work more. I was like, dude, I don't know what to do with this guy. Because every time I do a webinar with somebody who's, you know, relatively new to the webinar thing or whatever, they haven't really done it before. When we do 30, 40, 50 grand on a webinar, they're gone for 3 weeks. They go out and they buy a new watch. They go out and then they spend all their money like idiots, like they're drug dealers. That's how they live. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to sit here and pump this up more than it needs to be pumped up. But I will tell you that I think that the partnership up top at the leadership of this group is the best that you guys will ever probably get. Me and Scott work great together. We complement each other fantastically. I'm the hard driver, punch him in the face. Scott's the massager. He goes in there and makes everything fine. We've had opportunities together where we've gotten deals that you guys don't even know about that's 100% for you, where I literally beat the crap out of somebody where he was cursing me out on the phone, and Scott just came in and peeled him off the ceiling and then got the best deal of his life for us and for you. Right? And I'm not going to go into details about it, but the bottom line is that we work so well together. We're never going to stop working for you guys. We want to help you as much as we possibly can. And we've got different styles of doing it. We have different ways of getting there, but they complement each other very, very well. When you need somebody to go in and scream at somebody and curse them out, you got me. I'm here. When you need somebody to be somebody's best friend, you got Scott. He's there. So it's different personalities, different ways of doing it, but they both work very, very well. And we work well. And we are, the leadership of this group is very, very stable. And that's not going to change. We're in this for the long term, 5-10 years minimum. And we see it growing beyond things that I've ever imagined. I know that because, listen, when people come to me with opportunities all the time, and most of the time I ignore them, like I kind of ignored Scott for 4 years when he pursued me. I always paid attention to him and listened to what he had, but I always said no. I get pitched stuff all the time. Every time I do, if I say yes, which I don't anymore because all of my attention is on this, but every time I ever said yes in the past, it was like, all right, I can run this webinar for 6 months. And then someone else will pitch me with something and I'll have their product to sell. It's not a big deal. And there was a time where I was like, okay, if it works for 6 months, good. If it, and I could just kill it after that and move on to something else. After the first month or so, I realized that this was something that I wanted to be a part of. This is what I want my legacy to be about. And again, I don't want to be too Tony Robbins on you, but this is what I want to be known for at the end of it. I don't want to be known for the guy who worked at Stratton for 4 weeks. I want to be known for the guy who helped build Giveaway Masters into an organization that has 10,000 members and helps 200,000, 500,000 chamber members across the country. That's what I want to be remembered as when I'm 150 and I die. That's what I want to be remembered as. When I die on my boat while I'm catching a fish and he pulls me overboard and I sink down to the bottom of the ocean. That's what I want to be remembered as. There you go.
Very well said.
All right. So I don't know why when I come on these calls on Thursday, they last till 9:30, but I don't know. I guess I just can't shut up. But I'm good. If you have anything else, then we can go. We can talk about it. If not, I'm going to get back to these videos. I really want to get this training up for you guys tonight. So.
All right. So, Jay, are you from North Carolina? Is that why you asked? You can unmute yourself, by the way. It's okay.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Okay. Yeah. Good. I lived in Charlotte forever and go through Spartanburg all the time when I go see my family in Athens.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, I've been looking at the Spartanburg Chamber, 2 reviews, and anyway, I know you got somebody already in Greenville, so.
We might be able to help you out over there.
But yeah, I was thinking maybe I could connect with whoever that was. Maybe we could do kind of work together somehow.
Absolutely. Set the appointment up. I'll drive down there and help you. Just
Okay.
let me know what it is.
All right, that'd be great.
Yep. I love Spartanburg. What is the name of that barbecue place?
Well, there's several. One, Sims is actually in Greer. It's my favorite
No,
place.
it's when you're driving down and there's like a Wendy's across the street, and they just put a new gas station there too.
Oh, the QT. Yeah,
That's it.
at the Circle.
That's it. That barbecue place at the QT.
Yeah.
Yep.
Greek guy actually owns it.
Last time I was there, they were closed that day. I think it was on a Friday. Really disappointed me.
Well, if you get down on 85 towards Greer, there's a highway. Let's see, exit I guess at Highway 14 and go to Mutt's Barbecue.
Mutt's. Okay, I'll put it on my GPS. So what you need to do then, you need to make a commitment to me that you're going to make an appointment to go talk to those people in Spartanburg next week. Let me know what day it is, and I'll come down there and help you.
Okay, I will definitely make that commitment.
All right, good. It ain't hard, man.
All right.
I'll take my pillow and my blanket.
Okay, that sounds great.
Nice to hook up, Jay. Call, get it set up, and I'll come help you.
Okay, Scott. Thank you.
All right, sounds good, man.
And guys, listen, you know, I'm going to be working with Rick, but I'm in the New York area. I'm on Long Island. So New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, set it up.
And then once you guys, get your feet on the ground with this, then just be willing to pay it forward and help other people, because again, we all build this thing together. It's going to be amazing, because the one thing that Kenny didn't say is that, guys, when we get to 1,000 and we've proved the concept, we're going to zoom to 5,000 quicker. When we get to 10,000, we're going to go to 20,000 quicker. There's 3 billion entrepreneurs coming onto the internet. Not all of them are going to be entrepreneurs, but a lot of them. And their options to do what? They live in a desert. They can't make any money, but they're going to be able to make money online.
Yep. And the other thing too, those guys that do live in the desert, they're going to have to do it a little bit of a different way, right? Yep. They're going to need Amy, whose hand's been raised since I've been here. They're going to need someone like Amy who can work with the chambers here locally. They may be able to book appointments for half of the fee or whatever percentage you work out. But I think that's going to be a big, big, big part of it, where when these people start coming on board in some of those overseas countries where they don't have the access to the chambers like we do, they're still going to want a part of the action, but they're going to need local representatives inside of Kansas and Texas or wherever that are going to actually go there, show up, and get the deal done. So, that's another thing that you guys can look forward to, because those guys are just not going to be able, or girls are not going to be able to do it the way that you guys do it, because they're just not going to have access like you guys do.
Right.
And there's going to be the trust factor too. The trust factor is huge. The only thing that I never was able to overcome on the telephone is that, right? If somebody picks up the phone and calls somebody or they meet them in person or whatever, and they have like a different accent than them, and I'm not talking about like New York and Texas. I'm talking about like all of a sudden they call and it sounds like the guy's in a hut in freaking, Pakistan somewhere. The trust factor just goes down. Right or wrong, I'm not here to judge anybody, but that's just human nature. people in the United States are going to be like, what is this guy? Like, is this an IRS thing? Like, what's going on here? So they're not going to have what you guys have. They're going to need local people in order to go there and actually get it done. So you can be the point man for those people, and then you could split the fee with them or whatever percentage you work out. So that's going to be another big, big thing when we start signing people up in those areas. And the last thing I will say, and this is really the last thing that I'm going to say, the last thing I will say is this. One of the greatest things about the way that I run my businesses is that I do have a commitment to hiring people in places like India and places like, places like that, wherever it may be. And one of the things that I love about doing that is if I pay those people, you may think, oh, you're hiring slave labor for $1,000 a month in India. And I'm like, well, yeah, maybe if they lived in, New York City, that would be slave labor. But in India, where they live, in Punjabi, India, where they live, they own the town at $1,000 a month. They're the kings of their village.
Yeah.
A month. So when we start signing people up over in those areas, you set them up with a deal where they could book appointments for you or whatever, and they make $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. This is a bad example, but they're the Donald Trump of their village. They're killing it at $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month. So they can really help you, and you can really help them. And they don't really need, or they're not really going to cost that much money to get the deal done. So again, that's kind of far off, but I take pride in the fact that I get to help people where they are. And you guys are going to get that opportunity as well when we start bringing them in and they need help on getting local people.
What I would like to do at the end is, Ray, the one thing that I would ask from you is I would like you to shoot a video and let everybody know in the group kind of what your mindset has gone like from yesterday at this time until now, because I think you've had a bit of a transformation in the way that you see what this opportunity is all about and what our people are all about and what Kenny and I are all about. And if you could make a little testimonial video to kind of let people know that would mean the world to me. So that's the one thing that I would ask from you, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'll do that. Now I will tell you this. First of all, thanks again for all the support in the Facebook group. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I'm actually getting ready to go out of town till Sunday night. I have a flight out of Pittsburgh International here in about 3 hours, so I'm going to get going. But
okay,
I'll do that video on early next week, Monday. Hopefully, I'll be able to get to that. So I'll do it then.
Well, I deeply appreciate that. I'm looking forward to that. That's the kind of thing. That's what the reason that I'm doing this is the fulfillment of feeling like that I'm helping you guys see things differently.
Yep, definitely did with me. That's for sure.
Good.
Can I ask a quick question before we
Sure.
things up? I put it in the chat there. I don't know if you saw it or not, but how would you handle a situation if you go into a chamber and either the chamber president that you're talking to does the same thing that we do, not with the reviews, but has like a digital services business, or they're close friends with somebody in the chamber who does that, because at some point they're going to see that we might be kind of putting those people out of business. You know what I mean?
You want to answer that, Kenny? I mean, I can real quick. They're not doing anything for the reviews right now, so let's just do that and leave it at that right now. That's my answer, and then Kenny, you can add anything if you wanted to.
I have the thing that I was thinking of when you were saying that, Ray, is the first question I would ask is, that's great, but the bottom line is I came in here because you have no reviews on Google. So obviously they're not doing anything for that right now. Same thing as what Scott said.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Listen, I'm not, and I would tell them, listen, I'm not here to step on anybody's toes. If they do your SEO work, they do whatever, that's fine. But it's obvious, and we could search right now and look it up, but I'm sure they're not doing anything to increase your online reviews at the present moment. So, if they're going to start doing that, great. But I think there's a reason why they haven't done it yet. If you thought that was a possibility, you probably would have done it already, since you've already said that the value of Google reviews, and we went through that. You probably would have already started it. So how about we start there, let them handle everything else, and then we'll see where the relationship goes from that point forward. Kind of the same thing as Scott said, maybe a little more wordy. I'd probably go with his because it's a little bit more straight to the point, but gets the same point across. That's kind of how I would go about it too.
Okay.
All right, Scott, we done?
Yeah, think so.
All right, guys. Thanks. See you in the Facebook group. See you Monday. Ray, safe flight. And if anybody needs anything, just get us in the Facebook group.
Thank
All
you.
right, see you guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Good night, John boy.
Night. Yeah, I'm old. People in here know who the Waltons are. I know I'm not the oldest one here.